Here we go, rock and roll, party hardy. You heard
Yeah.
it
Hey,
first from
Wayne.
Gary Parker.
You're supposed to
Uh,
say, hey, Garth.
hey, Garth. Hey, Wayne. This is Jennifer Noreen here with the smart aleck, yet smart and kind Gary Parker here in Gig Harbor. Uh, Gary runs a restaurant called BBQ to You on Point Fosdick, pretty much in the heart of Gig Harbor. If you know where Ace Hardware is, you know where BBQ to You is.
Yeah.
Barbecue to You because he used to take barbecue to you. He used to have a catering business. I moved here from Austin, Texas under another career and decided he couldn't find the barbecue he loved. So what did he do?
I made it myself.
That's
So you
right.
can, you can walk in the doors and be immediately transported to Austin, Texas. We got,
Yes,
and if you want to know what the Austin traffic problems are, just come on in and listen to the radio for a little while because you're going to hear them.
there you go. And if you want to look at Texas football or you got a Seahawks ring in there, you got all kinds of interesting stuff. Artwork,
Yeah.
there's artists on display, you got local wines displayed in the lobby. Very friendly customer, Southern style service, Southern sides, barbecue, brisket, chicken, sausage, even a
Yeah.
vegan,
There's a bunch
even a
of
vegan option.
them. 7 meats a day.
7 meats a day, and I don't know how Gary or any of his staff ever sleep or see their family, but they do.
Nope.
So anyway, today we wanted to just check in with Gary. There's a lot of positive things happening, but we still are dealing with this horrible pandemic called
Right.
COVID-19 and all of its
Well, it's called the
ramifications.
economic recovery after COVID. Yeah, we got some COVID stuff going on, but it's all the trial and tribulation of the recovery that's going on. I mean, the supply chains can't keep up with demand. I don't know how many people that see this, go out and watch the markets and watch different things, but there's no shortage in demand. I mean, there's a bunch of us that are trying to, of course, guys like me are keeping going, but there's a bunch of people that are trying to get fired up again, and demand's coming in on the supply chain, and nobody can keep up. Right. I just reading an article out on Yahoo Finance this morning about that. Right. Is there's no shortage of demand. Right. This place or the country is ramping really hard, and they're having all kinds of trouble trying to get these warehouses back online, and especially in our business, right? And because with so many restaurants trying to fire up all at once, right? There's been some real hiccups that are going
Hmm.
on, right? And we've had deliveries, missed, right, for us, and they scramble and they get them to us the next day. So the customer side really hasn't seen a lot of this kind of thing, right? But yeah, we get missed deliveries. I'm constantly out running around figuring out what didn't get delivered and trying to plug that hole for the day. And it's a day by day business. Lots of
So,
fun.
so we have a supply chain issue because the warehousers are still trying to recover from COVID, from a staff perspective,
Yeah.
COVID practices, all of that. Are there delivery issues as well? So if the food is being prepared, is it being delivered to you promptly or?
Well, that's why I said we miss deliveries, right? So if I can't get it in the back door, it's two things. There's warehouse workers, right? And the warehouse workers are the people who receive trucks and put stuff on shelves, and then there's warehouse workers that pick it off the shelf, put it on the pallet, and mark it for barbecue to you, and then they put it on a truck, and then there's the truck drivers. And there's in truck drivers, there's the local truck driver problem, and then there's the interstate, truck driver problem. So, for example, yeah, with my food supply companies, right? Sometimes they don't have a driver right now to bring it out. Sometimes they got plenty of drivers, but they don't have the truck loaded, so they don't get here till the next day. Um, they're really struggling to try to get everybody back on board. Get people working, get them happy, get them synced back up again, right? To handle demand. On the other side, with truck driving, everybody knows that I bring the wood in out of Central Texas, right? And so it's really hard right now to find a driver that'll drive a load of wood up to the Pacific Northwest. And the trains are absolutely stuffed, right? And then they have their own problems because there's nobody to load the trains. So and then you can even look here in Tacoma and see the number of cargo ships and stuff that are stacked up out in the Sound, right? As excuse me, there's more cargo to unload than we have people to operate the cranes and drive the trucks. So there's a lot of just startup stuff that's congestion in the system. If you know what I mean.
Yes, just a lot of starts and stops in the system that used to run smoothly but doesn't have enough people and has
Yeah.
a lack of focus too. I think that there's some taking advantage, I think, in some ways of the COVID situation where if you can understaff or if you can save money, I think there's some. I don't want to go too far down that road politically,
No,
but
don't go too far down that road.
yeah, I mean, it's become unfortunately something that people have taken advantage of as well. So I hate what's happening to small business, and not just the restaurant industry, but
Yeah.
just so many and other favorite restaurants of mine that don't have things available, and you're definitely seeing the effects for sure, and it's not over, and and we don't know when it will be over. So what have you done? Have you had to change your menu?
Nope, not yet. We're pretty resourceful here at Barbecue to You, right? So the guys do a real good job of keeping me nimble, where I can get out and go find things that we don't have.
Hmm. Hmm.
Our suppliers are really good to make sure that all my critical items at least get here within a day of when they were supposed to get here,
Hmm.
right? So I think what you're seeing too is guys like myself and other restaurant owners, we know this is going on, so we're buying more. We're keeping more on hand than we normally would.
Hmm.
Um, a lot of the world doesn't understand, that we really run on a JIT kind of a method, in these businesses. Um, we don't design in a lot of storage area into these stores,
Hmm.
right? So we're reliant on having product, brought in on a couple
Yeah.
time a week basis.
Yeah.
So one of the things, the reason is you start to see things like I have my wine hearts and my Big Red and boxes of pans and bags and stuff stacked up on the walls and the hobbies out here, is because we're buying more now, where we're keeping a bigger buffer on hand, right? So if we do miss a day, it's really just two or three items we have to deal with versus trying to figure out how to go get a whole load of stuff, right?
Yes. Yeah. So you're making it work, it sounds like.
We make it work,
Yeah.
adapt and improvise, right? That's what we do.
Yeah. I mean, if you walk in there and you order food and you walk around the lobby, I mean, everything seems business as usual. I
Right.
haven't had a day when, my family hasn't been able to order what we would like or whatever. And it's there, you certainly have people sitting in there.
Yeah.
It's certainly a crowd every time I go in there. So that's great.
Right.
It's a really great,
So
vibrant part of our community.
yeah, but that's the art of it all, right? Is
Hmm.
most of the time, unless you're interested in this stuff, people don't have their own problems. They don't need to know what mine are, right? But
Hmm.
but in the back, behind stage, right? It's a chaotic. It's controlled chaos right now, right?
Hmm.
Trying to keep these restaurants online.
I'm sure there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes to keep things looking normal up front. I'm sure. I understand. So today, I also wanted to talk about philanthropy. You have not changed in that regard. If anything, I feel like you've ramped up during COVID, especially your efforts in the community to serve others, serve other businesses. I know that you care about individuals, but I also see you as a business owner doing a lot, partnering with the chamber and partnering with Gig Harbor Foundation to serve small businesses and people.
Yeah, yeah. That,
So
backpack for kids. The rescue mission.
yeah.
I mean, there's so many layers right now where it's actually getting really kind of big. So we still do the authors in the lobby, right?
Hmm.
Larry Fowler and those guys, they're kind of running that, on their own at this point. We have a kind of a way that we're doing that. So we're expanding that on the authors a little bit, because now, at least through the fall, depending on weather, but you'll have authors indoors, but you'll also have the authors outdoors, right?
Hmm.
And so, and some days and on the weekends and stuff, sometimes we're doing more than one author at a time, right? So we got those kind of things going on. We're really tying back into the schools. Like this week, we have Peninsula PTA, right,
Hmm.
that we're doing up at the counter, right? So that's their week, and they're trying to, they want people to come in and then drop your receipt in the jar, and then they get 10% of the proceeds, right, for that week. And there's a whole list of schools that we're trying to help do that. Probably the biggest one that's coming, you guys may have seen it already on Facebook, is the breast cancer awareness quilts. Right, that one's going to be a fairly big thing, and multiple businesses are involved. Where Miss Lucy's running around, she'll be displaying quilts, and they'll be on a silent auction, right? And then those quilts will move from store to store over the course of the month when that kicks off. And then, of course, the winners will be notified who they are. But it's all in an effort to try to raise money for breast cancer awareness. And I think particularly they're going to focus on mammograms this time. Right.
Okay. So if you want more details about what Gary just shared about the breast cancer awareness, we will be posting it on the Barbecue to You page. It's found in a few places all over Gig Harbor on different Facebook pages. We can also put this information on the TexasBBQ2U.com website. So,
Right.
But look for this on Facebook. You know, you're welcome to read through the details. I won't read it verbatim here, but is that an example of one of the quilts here, Gary?
Yeah, that was one of the late. They're going to be the smaller quilt. They're the I don't know how many. There quite a few people understand, the breast cancer thing, but they're they make a smaller quilt, care blanket, kind of it is, kind of a lap blanket, and so it's going to be mostly those. There's a few big ones, like small bed size quilts that are coming in. I haven't even seen them all yet, so I don't know. But for the most part, they're going to be the small, care blanket kind of, kind of an option. And so anyway, they're going to be in. If they're covered in plastic, you want to see them closer, just walk up to them. We keep them covered in plastic when they're in Barbecue to You because of all the smoke and stuff that we have in here. We don't want to make them all smell like barbecue, right?
Right.
But
good choice.
yeah,
Good
but they'll be on display, and like I said, if you watch the Facebook stuff, there'll be more detail on that when that one kicks off.
It looks like there's a breast cancer quilt festival. Small art quilts are still needed for the October 30th day event. Quilts the sizes are listed here. If you have a piece you want to donate, contact Corliss Lester. It gives you all the detailed information here. We'll make sure this post makes it to the Barbecue to You page, and we'll post it at the top so you can find it easily. So what else? Anything else about philanthropy going on that you need to tell us about? You said the Peninsula PTA. Is that Peninsula High School or Peninsula?
Actually, I said it wrong. It wasn't Peninsula. It's Purdy PTA. Purdy PTA is what's in this.
Okay.
My problem.
I should fix that really quick then.
Yep. My eyeballs didn't read real quick. I'm old. I make mistakes.
That's okay. We'll forgive you. Yeah. Especially because you do so much good stuff. So
but I'll try to get you. I'll try to get you a list of all the schools coming in because I like doing the schools because a lot of what we do, and the way that we do it with the school, it's a direct classroom impact, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's the reason we work with these. We work with these. The moms and dads and stuff that are running, the PTA organizations locally, within those schools, right? That's our best because that way we know that whatever we're donating goes in and helps teachers, right? Try to deal with all the things that they have to deal with.
Mm-hmm. So. Very good. Well, thank you, Gary Parker, owner of Barbecue to You in Point Fosdick, Gig Harbor, Washington. Thanks to everyone who's been watching today. And we'll have this video on the Facebook page, and also all the videos are stored on the website if you ever want to go back and watch the past editions. If you have questions or topics you'd like Gary to cover, let us know what those are. You can just post them in the comments. Gary?
Yeah. Well, of course, we haven't talked about barbecue yet.
Oh, well, what is there? What more could there possibly you to say about barbecue? The fact that you need to get out and start barbecuing?
Yeah, you got to get out and start barbecuing. I mean, this is weather not the most perfect barbecue weather. See, I understand. We talked about this in spring, right? And the weather was really nice, and everybody's excited because it's been winter, and they all wanted to get out and cook. Okay, and then those really high temperatures came in, and who wants to go out and stand in front of a grill, right? When it's really hot. So now, if you've been watching the weather, it's really nice. It's cooled down a lot. It's a fantastic time to start getting your getting those pits clean, right? Clean your pit. We get out and start cooking. Go cooking a brisket. Cook yourself some ribs. This is my favorite part or my favorite time for barbecue. And here, as we approach fall and the weather's kind of cooled off, and the rains haven't come in yet, it is just the most ideal time around here to do barbecue.
So I will even share a little bit of some images of some of this delicious food that Gary and his team cook up. If you visit the Facebook page, you can always see delicious pictures of their food and his team and some happy customers. Definitely a place to watch if you're looking for the latest philanthropy that Gary's involved in, or if you just want to look at delicious barbecue. There you go.
Exactly. So
All
anyway,
right. Well,
if you have
thanks.
any barbecue questions, send them in.
Yes, we want to know what you want us to cover in these videos. So leave them in the comments or email Gary at gparker@texasbbq2u.com. Thanks, Gary. We'll be talking again.